Hello everybody, I know it's been a while since I've done one of these videos, but we're going to get right into it. I'm going to be showing you how to make a really quick and simple calculator to maybe use in your classroom or at work, or maybe to just put on your resume for your CS job. Anyway, let's get started. So you can start by just making a Java project depending on what application you're using. So I'm using Eclipse IDE, and basically I just already have my project and the class. Let's open that up. We already have it opened up here. So let's start by making our class, and that's basically going to be the calculator class. So public class calculator, you can really call it anything, but we're going to make it an appropriate name, obviously. And now we are going to do a main method. This is not an object-oriented sort of project I'm showing you. This is only in the main method, simple version of Java. Public static void main string args. Now, depending on what type of application you have, this should be, you are allowed to auto-generate a main method. Okay, so since this is a very simple version of a calculator, it's gonna only take two numbers. Obviously this could be updated, this could be changed, but you're gonna take two numbers. So we're gonna start by making two variables, because if you're gonna add numbers in your code, then you gotta have some sort of variable for later on. And also we are going to have an operation, so plus, minus, multiply, divide, sort of like that. So we're gonna just, instead of a string, we're just going to set it to a character operation. And also we are going to obviously have an answer. Let's actually make that a double, just in case we have any remainders. Okay, so now we are going to actually ask the user for the two numbers, these two right here, and also the operation. So we're not gonna like dial in the numbers that we're gonna ask for in the console. So you have to make a scanner. So scanner, the type of object, and then the name right after. So I'm calling it console. New scanner, make it, generate it, and then this is something you should memorize: system.in. That's how you make the scanner. Now you will probably get like this little red squiggly line under. That's because scanner is like a separate thing, a separate class that you import. So you can go ahead and import it here, or you could just go down on these options, import the utility, java.util scanner. Alright, perfect. So now we can actually begin the input that we're going to ask for. So let's do everything we know, system.out.print line, and we're just going to ask actually let's keep it simple, number 1. Alright, just to keep it simple. So we asked that, or we printed it to the console. Now we actually got to use our scanner and grab the input that the user gives, that according to what we've asked. So for that you actually have to make a variable, whatever variable you're asking for. So in this case we're asking for a number, so we're going to make an int. Alright, number, actually scratch that, we already have our variables. That's the thing here. Good thing we made those at the start. So num1 equals console, so that's our scanner. And then you can look at these options here. There's has next, or next int, next line, has next, blah blah blah. Next int is the one we're looking for. This is the one that scans integers, not strings, not characters, integers. So now this console value from the scanner is stored into our variable that we made. Okay, and now we're going to do the same thing for our second number. Remember, we only have two numbers, but you can also add your number, another number, or customize it however you want. This is just a simple calculator. So we've asked for the second number, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to use our variable that we made up here on line 1. So now we're using num2 equals, and then the same thing, the scanner the next indices, the first indices. And finally we have one last thing that we have to ask the user for, or that we need from the user. We are going to ask for the operation. So multiply, divide, plus, minus. So we're just going to ask what operation. Question mark. There you go. And now we're going to use our, again, a variable we made on top, but this time it's a character, or a char in Java. And basically it's just one single, like, it's like a string, but only a one letter instead of a word or a phrase. So operation equals console dot. This is where it gets a little trickier. So we're going to use the console.next. This basically right here, this is you can use for a string, but we're not actually looking for a string. We're looking for a single character, a char. So we're going to have to use the char at method. Basically, you can look at a single character or char in a string. And we're viewing this as a string originally, but then we're looking at char at. So there's char at parentheses and the index of the character we're looking for. But there's literally only one input that our user should give. So we're just going to do 0, which is the first thing that is inputted in a string or the scanner. And basically, yeah, that should read the single character. Now some of you may be thinking you just have to make your if statements. If op equals plus, then we do blah 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 blah. But that's actually not how we're going to do it. I'm going to actually teach you guys something a little newer. It's called a switch case, or a switch method. And basically it's like an if statement, but it takes a single character, and it's basically an if statement for characters only. Like, you can only compare characters, and it's a simpler type of method or checking system if you only are checking for characters or chars. So switch, here's how it works. Switch, your switch word should light up if you're on Eclipse, and then you have to give the switch method a simply a character, or a char. So in this case our char is OP, and just like in if statement we have brackets here, and now we're going to check the case. So here's how you do that. Type case, right? And then your char that you're checking. Remember, this could be done with an if statement or a series of if statements as well. But this is just a new thing you should learn for your future of CS. So case, your char right here. As you can see, your char in single quotes. And then simply a colon for what would happen if this case is true. If our OP that we read from the console, our operation that we read from the console, is a plus sign. So if the user wants to add these two numbers. So we're simply going to do, we're going to go back to our answer variable here, and we're going to put an answer in there, because right now it's just empty. So answer, actually before we do this, it's a good idea to actually initialize this. 0.0, since it's a whole number, real number. So our answer is equal to, and obviously this is simple math here, guys, num1 plus num2. Easy. Control S, save it. And just keep doing that for your other cases. So minus, obviously, answer equals num1 minus num2. And remember, Java does this, does these operations for you. If I do system.out.println num1 and num2, num1 minus num2, it'll give me the answer. Right? So Java does this for you, but we're just giving we're providing a user interface. So next case, we're gonna do, let's do multiply. So this times, this star is multiplication in Java, equals num1 times num2. And remember, you can actually add anything you want to this. You could add, a big thing to add would be the mod case. That's definitely something you should add to this to make it more Java-based, first of all, and more advanced. And finally, case divide, division, answer equals num1 divided by num2. Awesome. And finally, at the very end, we are going to print our answer, obviously to tell the user what their equation equals to, the final answer. So you can do this any way you want. I personally like to write the whole equation out once more. So num1, the num1 that the user inputted, obviously, plus, so we're going to add num1 to a string, plus space, plus the operation. So, for example, 2 plus, or not exactly plus, but maybe it could be minus times another number. So we're going to have that, space, plus the num2, plus, and have equals, and then finally plus the answer. Control S, save. And here is your Java simplest calculator you could possibly make, other than the fact that the switch case is something a little new. So you can even write a little note to yourself, change to if statements, if you feel more comfortable with the if statements, but it's always good to have something a little more advanced in your code. And finally, let's actually run our program. Actually, before we go on to test our code, let's fix it first of all. This is another thing that has to do with the switch method. Basically, at the end of each case, you have to break it, or else there'll be some errors regarding infinite loops and your code going on infinitely. And it's just all that mess that you don't want. Now let's try to test it. So go in my console, run the program. Okay, so num1, 6, let's just say that. Num2, let's go with 6, why not? Operation, we all know what 6 times 6 is, right? And there you have it. As you can see right down here, we entered our two numbers, 6 and 6. Operation, so multiply. 6 times 6 equals 36. You could get rid of this 0.0, but it's always a good idea to have it as a double, because you could have remainders. You could even do like 6.6 times 6. Get all the exact whole numbers, real numbers. Let's test it one more time with a different operation. Let's do 100 plus, let's do 200. Let's add it. As I said, plus 100 plus 200, 300. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. This is a simple calculator. This could be way more advanced, but this is just something you guys should know how to do, like, real quick. In the blink of an eye, you should be able to code something like this. It's really simple, and also I showed you guys the switch method, which could be helpful in other cases as well. You could also use if statements if you want. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, share this video, and have a nice day.